Hey, welcome to Unbored Bible. This is episode Hero to Zero to this channel, the long version. So there is a shorter version that if you wanted to go watch that, that's going to be the same title, but without the long version in the title. And what we'll be talking about today is the longer version of what's happening as to why I'm starting this channel and some of the movement that I see God creating, not just for this channel, but in my life overall, and then some movement that he's been doing the last 2.5 years that enabled me to accomplish certain things. I've been laid off. Essentially, I have been laid off. There was nothing within the company that any of the other divisions wanted me. There's nothing within the industry. I applied, I got quick interviews, and then nothing. And other similar jobs in different industries aren't panning out either. It is currently July 2026. I got laid off at the end of February 2026. So it's not too long, so it's not like the world has come crashing down just yet. What I experienced in the last 2.5 years out of the 9 years that I was with the division that got restructured, I was a local trainer, a market trainer for about 16 different retail locations in the Atlanta area. I became one of the lead trainers nationwide. So people would come to me to learn how to do what we're doing. It wasn't just me, but I was one of a few people that new people got sent to. One of the people that would go and help others and help new people, or go help out on a new retail location, or a location is really struggling and they need some help. Over the last 2.5 years, so I was with the company for 9 years, or with that division for 9 years, with the company for 15. And it was the last 2.5 years or so that I noticed that my requests to be sent to other locations across the nation was kind of sort of picking up. And I didn't mind it because I noticed that I was going to locations that I'd never been to before. And it was fun to get there, get the experience and whatnot. So you'll notice Tombstone, Arizona, great place to go. Maybe I'll throw up some pics of that.
Hold on, I don't mean that!
And one of the things that I did notice that I was able to go to areas that something felt like something was changing. This is where I think God was kind of orchestrating some things in my life, blessings, even though currently I am blessed, but I'm not working. So I've been blessed to do all this travel. Before I got let go, my wife and I had this discussion that I had been blessed to both travel to areas that I've never been and areas I thought I'd never be. And in some cases, I got sent back 2 and 3 times to areas that I thought I would never, ever be able to travel to. The other thing was all that travel also enabled me and my wife to go traveling. So what does that have to do with this channel? That's right. So nothing really. Because I was blessed by God in the last 2.5 years to do a lot of this stuff, I figured I'd honor him by every time I do a video, I will wear one of the shirts from one of the locations that I got to go to, and maybe a short story. In my live presentations, the Sunday school that I teach, it's a Baptist church, and I don't wear a suit and tie. I wear t-shirts, jeans, tennis shoes, and I teach not up on the stage, but in front of the class. And I get to, every time I would come back, I would wear a shirt and tell them about my experience in this particular city. And so I think I will bring that to you guys as well, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. If not, I'm sure you'll burn me in the comments somewhere in there. Good Christian burns, I'm assuming. This journey from hero to zero to this channel, I need to do 2 things. One of them is Unbored Bible, and then the other is going to be some apps that I think are needed in the marketplace, and we'll talk more about that later. The 2 shall meet in some form or fashion, as far as Unbored Bible and then these apps that I'm going to develop. I'm not going to give a name right now because I haven't fully invested in the name for the app yet, but you'll see the more I present, the more stuff I start recording, you'll start seeing more and more of that out there. And as you see me both speaking on camera and then live in the Sunday school room, hopefully you'll be able to see me. I'll be able to do some recordings doing teaching off of campus and in some other non-church locations. Hopefully. That's the goal. Here's another fun fact. So when I originally recorded the short version of this and posted that up, I was going to do this long form video, and I was getting ready to do it the next day. I wake up, I'm sick as all get out. My voice is like just burning. Y'all know that scratchy, you wake up in the morning and your throat is on fire. No idea why. But so it's been a week since I was actually able to do that until now. So I don't know if you can tell, but especially in any of the other videos that you might have watched of mine with my actual voice, you'll tell that my voice isn't normally this scratchy or this deep or nasally. So my apologies, but hey, we're at a point where we got to start getting this stuff done. YouTube and see what it does. Not for any great glory. We all know that there's so many channels that only get like 20 views, 30 views, which is currently what I'm experiencing. But I wanted to do that for like the last 2 years or so. I can't remember when I first thought about it, but I also wanted to be able to take that and help you guys understand certain weird aspects. I got this originally from Michael S. Heiser. He was a great communicator. He did well transferring the deep technical knowledge into layman's terms, and then he also took the weird stuff and said something to the effect of, if it's weird and it's in the Bible, it's probably important. So a lot of stuff that we can't explain, or what most preachers can't explain because they don't teach it, it's a minor part of the Bible overall, because there's bigger sections to deal with. And that's what most seminaries, most preachers, most teachers kind of focus in on, is the bigger parts of the Bible, the theological, once saved, always saved, or baptism by immersion or sprinkling, all sorts of stuff in that nature, things that apply to people's lives, daily lives. And I figured when I first started that I would not do the mainstream stuff because there's enough of that out there. What I wanted to do was take the stuff that would be, hey, that's an interesting topic, let's do that. Maybe people have heard of it, most people probably haven't, but now it's going to add to your Christian walk in some form or fashion. Some of you may say it's totally useless information. Others may say that's great, but how do I apply it? Hopefully we're going to be able to show you how to do that. But this will at least give you a richer, broader view of what's going on, not only in the Bible, but in your Christian life, in life in general, and how it's going to come up. Sooner or later, a lot of this stuff is going to come up. We'll get into the supernatural. We'll get into angels, demons, spirits, ghosts. We'll say Nephilim, Rephaim. We'll get into Bigfoot, Dogman, weird creatures that are out there that just kind of like, how does that apply to the Bible? And well, that's my goal, is to show you that you can apply what you know about the Bible into the world you see today. And we're going to also help you understand that not everything's a ghost, not everything's a spirit. No, the devil probably has not targeted you specifically. I'm pretty sure he's busier than that. So spirits, demons, ghosts, weird stuff in the world today. And the Bible, does it have ghosts? Right? And we know we can. Many of you could probably think of a few things right now. You got the witch of Endor. You've got the demons that Jesus cast out. You've got other spirits in there. You've got them both in the Old Testament as well. And you'll also we'll talk about Bible adjacent stuff. So things that aren't necessarily in the Bible, but were happening when the Bible was being written and produced for each of the sections of the Bible. So things that were happening both in the ancient Near East, neighboring countries to the Hebrews, and then also things that they thought and contemplated about that also was happening during the building of the Bible, the writing of the Bible and the scriptures. The things that they're thinking about and talking about, but are not necessarily in the Bible itself. So we've got these parallel events happening. The world is happening outside the Bible. We're just telling God's particular story about the Hebrews and ultimately where salvation comes from and that whole backstory for that. What else can I cover? We will cover some normal stuff. We'll get into some basics. You've always got to cover the basics, because if you don't have the basics, having a trick play doesn't really matter. Because if you're all trick play, you're going to get run over by somebody who knows the basics and will be able to run you over. And I want to give you the meat of the word as well. So I don't want you to just say, hey, here's something, here's a cool little tidbit, and then that's it. So we're going to give you some meat and potatoes along with some desserts, right? The desserts are going to be fun. I think you're going to enjoy them. I will do some recordings so you can see the interaction I get from my class and the grief I give my class and the weirdness that sometimes I shock them with. But they love it. They love throwing it right back at me. It's a great crowd, and I hope you get to meet them someday soon. So I'll be doing some AI generated stuff from my notes. Not that I've gone out and said, hey, AI, create a table, create a topic for me. It's going to be stuff that I've researched, and hopefully I've double checked it enough and qualified enough that it's presentable. And then I've kept all those notes. So what I'll do is I'll take my notes, I'll put them into, right now I'm using Notebook LM, and I'll put it into Notebook LM, and I'll tell it what I'm looking for. And then I'll see what it spits out. Because trust me, AI will do some weird stuff with your own notes. It'll add things in there that you never suggested, wanted, or even considered, or deleted because you knew it was garbage information, but somehow it went out there and found it anyway and put it into your notes. So I'm crafting the AI a little bit, so I'm understanding how to take my notes, rewrite it so it doesnn't do that. But it's AI. It's got a mind of its own. So those AI animations and or slides, we'll take that. I'll make sure everything's all hunky-dory, and then I'll be posting those. The reason I'm doing some of those is those are going to be short-form videos that I don't have to edit, right? Or have to do very little editing. If I do a video like this, you can bet I'm doing a lot of editing because maybe I won't be able to, but I say and ah a lot, despite going to Toastmasters and being able to do that to give a presentation without saying and ah and a bunch of other stuff. So right now I'm going off the cuff, and I'm even doing it now. Unbored Bible is not just going to be teachings, it's going to be training as well. I want to be able to go to, say, a church that wants to launch a new Sunday school program, and they need teachers, but they've got people who want to volunteer but have no idea how to teach a Bible study class, let alone how do you take, what do you study for, right? What do you do? So that's going to be also Unbored Bible, is I'm going to be able to teach the teachers how to not bore their students with the Bible. So I've got big, grand, and glorious ideas for this, and currently, and again, it goes right back into, because I got laid off, which I think is God forcing me to, hey, I want you to do this, whether it's successful or fails. Like when he sent Paul out, just go. It might fail, doesn't matter. I desire obedience, not sacrifice. So I think I'm being obedient. Hopefully I'm correct. And then hopefully you guys agree with that. And I hate to say it, but like, share, and subscribe. I'm not going to ask too many times. I think it's a little ridiculous to do that on each and every YouTube video. I wouldn't do it during Sunday school class. So I know YouTube has got its own little thing, but maybe do that once in a while. All right. Thank you. Be warm and well fed.